It was 1993, the year I got out of high school. At the time, I was hanging around with this group of guys where we all kind of blended in. We all kind of looked the same. And we were the, jeans, band t shirt, long, dark hair group. These were Latino and Mexican metalheads. And, I'm the sole Asian guy among them. I think we had like one white guy, but I don't think he was on this particular road trip that we took. One of the guys, I'm not going to name any names, one of the guys had been giving a large station wagon and this old rickety bucket of a car, and we began doing, the bulk of our road trips in this thing because we could fit so many people in it and still be relatively comfortable. It was a nice ride. There was nothing wrong with it. It was well taken care of and well maintained, and it got us all over the place, really. So this one day, I get the phone call. It's already late in the afternoon. And they asked, hey, you want to go to Gila Bend with us? We decided we're just going to go on a road trip to this place. And I've Gila Bend? I don't know, why anybody would really want to go there, but I was okay, It's this little town really in the middle of nowhere in Arizona where you can kind of catch the 10 from the 8 or vice versa, I guess. So I eventually get picked up and I end up sitting next to this girl that I had a crush on. There was one of two girls in the car at the time, and so I was kind of stoked. Hey, I get to ride this whole way, next to her. But so we take off, and there was surprisingly no music in the car. People would expect us to be rocking out the whole way, but there was a tape stuck in the tape deck, and it was like Engelbert Humperdinck. And as soon as you would turn the radio on, this tape would start playing, and nothing else on the radio worked except for this tape player, and it would play that one tape over and over and over again. So we just left it off, and nobody said anything. As soon as I got in the car, it was just silent. Just kind of get in, hey, what's up? And nobody said anything else. We stopped for gas in Yuma. We all got out, used the restrooms, got more drinks and everything, but still nobody said anything. I made sure, I got to sit back next to that girl, when we got back in, but off into the night we were. And eventually, we pull into this town. And, there isn't much there. We're going along the road, and, there's gas stations, a couple motels, one of them with a UFO theme, which was kind of odd. It was closed. We eventually pull into this Circle K, and we get out, do the whole routine again. Everybody goes inside and gets drinks and uses the restroom, and we end up congregating back in the parking lot around the car, and we're all just kind of standing there, still nobody saying anything. And I can't really tell you how long we had been standing there, but at some point in unison, we all end up just kind of looking up. And we see this huge black triangle kind of floating over us. and it's moving by slowly, but there's no sound. There's like the air in this place is just dead. There's no breeze or anything. No sound with this thing. It's just casually floating over us, and there's like these three lights, but it's not like it was just this dark silhouette. We could actually see detail on this thing. Like, it was a very solid object. It wasn't some ethereal thing in the sky that, wasn't positively there. This thing was there, and it flew over us very slowly, and it was low enough to where you could pick up a rock and throw it at the thing and hit it. That's how low it seemed. I'm not sure how low it actually was, but that's how low it seemed and how solid it seemed. And it didn't make any sound, and this thing was immense. And the only thing I can think of to describe how large this was is like an aircraft carrier, sort of just casually floating over. And nobody said anything. We watched it until it disappeared over the horizon. And after it was gone, nobody even looked at each other. We just kind of looked down at the ground. And everybody kind of stuck in their, I guess, own contemplative state. Just not saying anything, not acknowledging it. And yeah, just existing in that moment. So again, I don't know how long we were standing there, but eventually the silence is broken by this line of pickup trucks that pulls into this gas station up to the pumps and everything, and all these people start getting out, and all the guys have long, dark hair. So I'm not sure how it happened, but one of my friends, the one who was actually driving, ends up in a conversation with one of these guys, and he comes back over and, hey, there's this huge party, and they want to know if we want to follow along and go. It's a long drive, but, hey, free party, free food, free everything. And we're just kind of like, everybody's just kind of like, yeah, okay, let's go. So we end up refueling and grabbing more snacks and everything, and joining this procession of pickup trucks, headed out into the night, and we have no idea where we're going. And we were on the road for just ages, going through just desert and these tiny little towns, and I'm not even sure where we ended up. It was somewhere around northern Arizona or New Mexico or Southern Colorado. I'm not even sure exactly where we were, where we ended up. But eventually we did pull into this sort of off-road area where we ended up going down these dirt roads, following all these trucks and everything. And it was a hell of a bumpy ride in some of the spots, but the car made it. Anyways, eventually we arrive upon this scene, and there is just this vast amount of people setting up camp, and there's all kinds of stuff going on here and there, and different little circles of people everywhere. And there's drumming going on. You can hear all this drumming and this chanting and music coming from various places. And we get out and we're following these guys through all of this, and we're kind of stoked because virtually every guy we see has long dark hair. So we kind of seemed to blend in, and we were accepted among this group. Anyways, at some point, some lady kind of approached us, said, hey, you guys come over here. You guys look really tired. And we're like, yeah, we, just drove in from San Diego. And I thought, oh, wow. So we end up getting fed at this ladies' encampment. Pretty good food, eggs and you know some kind of flatbread and everything that I'd never had before, but it was pretty good. And we just kind of joined this one party among the larger party, and we had our own sort of campfire there, and we're kind of sitting around it, getting introduced to people, and everybody's just kind of really accepting us, and nobody questions our presence. But we did see somebody kind of getting run off. Some blonde haired lady. Yeah, it was kind of interesting, but nobody bothered us. So one of our friends who happened to be a drummer kind of ended up joining this group of drummers. And at some point, one of them actually gave him a drum, and he's going at it with them and learning how to play that style of music. And everybody just, it was kind of really easy to just kind of enjoy the vibe of the whole place. And time goes on, and it gets on in the evening and everything, and there's this guy, we're set up around this campfire, and this guy, he's preparing something. He's got this like metal pot, and he's crushing up all the stuff in it. He's adding in bits of different types of cactus and herbs, and looks like some kind of mushrooms or something. And he's mashing this kind of all together into this like liquid. And as the night goes on, eventually, this stuff gets passed around, and everybody's, taking a little drink of it, and I take a little drink of it and everything. And yeah, it tasted really bad. Probably one of the worst things I've ever tasted, but you don't want to be rude and just kind of spit it out. I did see a couple of people do that, but I just kind of like, okay, swallow, yeah, keep it down and wash it down the rest of the way with some Pepsi. As the evening presses on, there's all this dancing around these various bonfires, and they're calling different dances, and some of them we can get involved in and kind of go along with. The other ones we don't really know what's going on. Eventually there's this one dance, they call it like 49 or 49 or something like that, and it's, I guess, some sort of ladies' choice thing. So they're going through all this drumming's going on and everything, and all these girls are dancing, and they're picking out guys, and they're taking off with them. And by the end of this thing, I'm just kind of sitting there. No, nobody picks me, but all my friends sure as hell were gone. So I go for a walk, and I end up walking out into the desert, and the camp's getting further and further away. The whole crowd of the thing, I can kind of see it from this hill I'm on, and it's getting quieter and quieter. The noise is still there, all the music's still there, all the people are still partying and everything, but it's like I was being sort of transported away from that, and I could hear my footsteps and the gravel and the sand and everything as I'm kind of just wandering out into the desert. And I got a little ways out there, and I started noticing how pretty the purple and yellow sky was and everything. And I started getting sort of happy, feeling like, yeah, this is, kind of cool. This is a interesting experience. I'm glad I came on this road trip. And I keep walking, and I'm going up and down these little trails and hills and valleys, and looking at these rocks and cactuses and stuff that I would normally never get to see in this context. At some point, all the noise and the whole presence of everything back at the various camps where the huge gathering was going on just kind of disappeared into the background. There was really no sign of it. I really had no idea where I was, or how far away or what direction I had even come from. So I'm walking along. I'm still not really worried about it. I'm still relatively happy. And then I start hearing this like scratching sound. And I keep looking behind me and looking around and, dragging my foot on the ground to see if it's me causing this noise or something else. And I can't identify it, but I keep hearing it. And so I'm going along and that's really weird. What is this sound I keep hearing? So I end up coming up on this little rise and I get to the top of it and I look down on this scene, and what I see there just makes my heart stop. It's like, just walking into this moment of absolute terror is the only way I can describe it, to where you're just frozen. And what I see there is this chicken, only it's not a normal chicken. This thing is probably about 30 foot tall. And it's got this razor sharp beak and these huge claws. And I'm just like stopped staring at this thing and how huge this damn thing was. And the thing stops and it kind of notices me and it looks at me, and that chicken-like way where they kind of turn their head and like that. And there's this just black eyeball, staring into my soul, and I'm looking into this abyss. And it just, everything freezes for a moment, and then something hit me like a bolt of lightning, and I just took off running. And I'm flying through the desert, and this thing is chasing me. I can hear it, and I look back over my shoulder. I can see this thing coming, and it's gaining on me. This thing is just way faster than I am, and I feel like I'm running through sand basically, which I was. And so I changed my strategy and I ducked down behind this rock and trying to hide from it. And when you're scared, it kind of distorts reality, I guess. I'm ducked behind this rock, but then I realized that this rock was pretty small and it wasn't really hiding me. It was hiding my view of what I could see. So it was a really small rock. So I look up and this chicken is right there, and its beak is coming closer and closer to me, and it's kind of cocks its head again and gives me that look and lets out this sort of bark, and I just passed out. I was just gone from that point on. I was so terrified. So at some point in time, I reemerged into consciousness, and I'm back at this camp with that lady and everybody, where we kind of took up residence when we got there. And I'm sitting on this little cooler in front of the fire, and everybody's kind of around in the circle talking, and I'm just kind of like, what the hell happened? And everybody's going around the circle and they're talking about these really deep spiritual experiences they had. Like the first guy was noticed he was very animated and talking about how he had transformed into this eagle, and he was flying over the desert and everything, and suddenly just understood, his purpose in life. And it went on like this around the circle. And I'm listening to these stories and everything. One of my friends was like, yeah, it was like I found out that my my totem or whatever is a bear, and it was so awesome, and how he had gotten laid and everything. And I'm just like, what the fuck, this is bullshit. And this story after story of all these just amazing experiences, and I'm sitting there thinking, all I got was chased around by a fucking chicken. It's like, what the hell kind of experience is that? I felt like cheated, getting chased around by a fucking chicken. It's like, where's the spiritual message there? Did I fail to embrace my inner chicken or something, or what? I don't know. It's just, yeah, so that was, the last time I did anything like that. Well, okay, maybe not, but for a long time, that was the last time I had done things like that, I guess. And yeah, I made the decision there that, I had no idea what happened in the time I was out, but, yeah, it is what it is, I guess. And I had no idea what happened to my pants either, because they were gone, and I don't know.